So as we know, Polar Peak has been destroyed. At least the majority of what was on it is now gone. However, the rubble at the bottom of the iceberg doesn't seem to reflect that. Where did the castle go? We're gonna try to answer this and more in this video, so make sure to stick around all the way until the end. If you're new here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate your support. Help me get closer to 450k. And while you're at it, go ahead and drop a like. Thank you. If you want to get a gift or get added to my friends list, the best way to do so is to check me out on Caffeine. I'll leave the link in the description. Definitely go follow me over there. So here is Polar Peak after the creature escaped from inside. As you can see, the castle is gone. We expected this to happen, but the thing is, there is no evidence at all of the castle anywhere below the iceberg, off the cliff, even near Greasy Grove, nowhere. And as we know, that castle was big, it was massive, and there is literally no evidence at all of it being anywhere. You might think if this creature were to break out of the iceberg, if this creature were to shatter the castle above, at least all of the remains and all of the debris would fall down and be somewhere, you know, there would be some rubble, but there is literally none, and that brings up a very important question. What happened to the castle? It looks like it was cleanly broken off, and for the most part, it's just not there anymore. Did the creature somehow take the castle with him? Or is it just under all of the snow and ice here? I don't think it's likely that it's under all this stuff because, as I said before, and I'm going to reiterate on that, the castle was just, simply put, way too big for there not to be anything at all sticking out of the ice. Even if it was mostly covered, there would at least be some stuff that we could pick out, but it's pretty much non-existent. Something really interesting that was added to the game's coding along with the 9.2 update, which of course was the update that the creature broke out of the iceberg and coincidentally enough, the castle was destroyed, or at least it's not there anymore, was this. There was a very low-res model of the ice castle, specifically under the file Caddis. And as we know, Caddis is the code name for the huge ongoing event right now with the creature. The Reddit post you're seeing on screen is by user Dusky's Lops, and basically he says his theory is since this model was added along with this update, the castle has to be in existence somewhere else, especially since there is zero evidence of the castle debris being near the iceberg. He then goes on to say this can only mean it's going to be a part or somehow stuck on the head of the creature. As you know, the biggest theory about what's happened to this creature is that he is some kind of a sea creature. In fact, it's all but confirmed via leakers on Twitter. And it looks like, based on his footprints, he went out into the sea after he broke out of his capture. Like Dusky said, is it possible in any way that the creature somehow managed to take the castle with him? I know it sounds bizarre, but it wouldn't be the strangest thing that we've ever seen in Fortnite. Look at it this way, the creature was most likely somehow loyal to the Fire King, based on evidence we've pointed out before. If he was, that means by association, the Ice King would also be his enemy. What if upon breaking out of the iceberg, he literally just grabbed the castle and carried it out to sea? We don't know how big this creature was, but based on the footprints that we see, pretty freaking big. And there's a good chance he might be that strong and capable of taking a whole castle and carrying it out to sea like that. Here's some concept art that was posted to Reddit by the same user, Dusky's Lobs, and it shows what it might look like if the castle were to resurface in the water, which of course that's where we think the creature is. He says in the post, "I think it will rise out of the water near Snobby and slowly circle the area till the big event." That would be kind of cool if it did circle around the area until the event. That would mean we have the castle back, and then the castle would also be changing locations every game as it moves around the map, so it would effectively be kind of like a dynamic landing area, which would be pretty cool. I don't know what happened to the castle, but there is definitely not enough debris at the bottom of the iceberg where we were expecting it to be. We expected the castle to kind of crack Greasy Grove. That was a big theory, and we thought that might be how Greasy comes back, but at this point, I have no clue what happened to it. I hope we find out soon. Let me know your thoughts. If you watched yesterday's video, it was basically all about this skin right here, the Tempest, and what it might mean for the Season 9 storyline. There are theories that it could be Kevin back, that it could be the Visitor returning. I think it's one of the two, and the description of the skin really gives a lot of away if you ask me. Again, it says consumed by the storm, back for revenge. Yesterday's video was the first time I ever mentioned this theory because of course the skin is pretty much brand new. I had an overwhelming amount of responses and theories trying to help me piece together what happened, and for the rest of the video, I'm going to continue to talk about this guy and talk about your theories and what he might mean in more detail. The second part of his character description, back for revenge, implies that at one point before he was here, and this is him making his second appearance. If it is Kevin the Cube, why would he be back here for revenge? What did we do to him to make him angry? That was the question I asked yesterday, and I got this response on Twitter that actually might help to clear some things up. So Alan says, "Hey, I noticed you said, what did we do to Kevin?" Well, if you look back to Season 6, this loading screen shows us fighting Kevin, so he is now back for revenge. I had completely forgotten about this Season 6 loading screen. I remember covering it at the time. If you ask me, it looks like the characters back in Season 6 were trying to attack Kevin. You can see Calamity pointing right at Kevin, almost signaling to charge at him. And then, of course, in the background, you can see a lot more people actually ganging up on Kevin, at least that's what it looks like. I can't confirm to you that the characters were trying to attack him per se. They might have been trying to help him, I don't know, but I would bet against it. What if this is the single reason why Kevin exploded? Because we were attacking him. If so, that would explain why Kevin could be back for his revenge. Maybe Kevin had this long, elaborate plan and he was close to completion, but we said, no, we've had enough of this cube, and we ganged up on him. By we, I mean the characters in the game, of course, and took him out before he could complete his task. Remember, this event happened around the time of Fort Nightmares, and it was clear that Kevin's cube fragments were spawning zombies, monsters, and overall he was looking very dark and devious. After the butterfly event was over, Loot Lake changed to Leaky Lake, and there was a rainbow across the sky signifying the return of good and the absence of evil. Maybe Kevin was evil and he was trying to carry out some master plan on the island, but everyone caught on before he could complete it and we stopped him. And maybe that is why he is back for revenge. I think that makes a ton of sense. Thank you, Alan. It's ironic because I just talked about those cube fragment monsters and it looks like we're going to be getting them back in some capacity. There's a new LTM coming out called Horde Rush. It's got a bunch of different challenges and unlockables. Credit to Lucas7 Yoshi for the tweet. Not only that, but check out this loading screen from Season 9. It clearly shows the new skins, Daring Duelist and her counterparts fighting against these horde creatures. Remember what I said about 1 minute ago? Where do these horde creatures come from? They originally came from Kevin the Cube. Now look at the background of this picture. It's purple. All of the monsters have purple in their eyes and in their mouth glowing. This loading screen comes out the same time the creature breaks out of the iceberg. We get the Tempest, we get all these theories about the cube coming back, and now all of a sudden we have these monsters making a return. Guys, the more I think about it, I really think Kevin is gonna come back in some way. He could already be back. He could be the Tempest. We are just shoveling coal into the fire at this point, strengthening the argument for Kevin to make a return, or at least be involved with the rest of the storyline in some way. Next up, we've got Sean, who said, Dr. P, I have a theory about the Tempest skin. What if the skin sent the visitor to the Fortnite Island to use hop rocks to power up the rocket? They did this to create a rift to different dimensions that the Tempest could shoot lightning through to create the cube. Lots of people seem to think the visitor is the Tempest, and it's possible, but Sean is saying they are two separate people, not the same person at all. In fact, this theory would mean the Tempest is, in a way, Kevin's father. So maybe he's not Kevin at all, but the superior being who was behind the overall creation of the cube. Man, this thing just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Regardless of who he is or his affiliation, I truly believe Tempest is a skin that is going to mean something later on down the road for the storyline. If there's anything that you think of theory-wise that I haven't mentioned in this video or my previous one, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you leave something good and informative, there's a good chance I could feature it in my next video. I always go through my comments section and read every one, so by all means, go ahead and leave a comment, and also keep sending me your tweets. I literally live and breathe Fortnite storylines, so if you've got anything to add, I would love to hear it. No theory is too small. Guys, if you want to get a gift like what I'm doing on screen right now, make sure to check me out over on Caffeine. I add everyone that shows up, and there's a good chance you could get a gift if you roll through and win one of my mini games like Dr. P says. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new so you never miss out on any of my daily Fortnite uploads. I'll catch you in the next video, and until then, peace out.